For viewers across Africa and the rest of the world, this is NC Continental Prime. I'm Sulaiman. Our letter will begin in West Africa, where Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has concluded a two-day working trip to Nigeria's commercial capital, Lagos. The working visit, themed Lagos Festival of Projects, saw the president cut the tape on many projects, including the Imota rice mill and Lekki deep-sea port. News Central's Akede has details.
Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari arrived at the presidential wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos at 3:40 p.m. on Monday to the warm welcome of dignitaries who received him. Among those who received the president at the airport were his chief host, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, governor of Lagos State, and Hamzat Obafemi, his deputy. Others included Dapo Abiodun, the governor of Ogun State, Kayode Fayemi, former governor of Ekiti State, Abike Dabiri, amongst others. The president then inspected the guard of honor and left to inaugurate the Lekki deep-sea port, located approximately 65 kilometers to the east of Lagos City and spreading over 90 hectares of land bordered on the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. It is the biggest port in Nigeria and one of the biggest in sub-Saharan Africa.
This magnificent infrastructure has been a combination of very many years of tireless work by a team that have agreed to work together. The team is led by NEPSA first approving that this place should be designated as a free trade zone by your regulator, NEPSA, also by MPA, who also approved the concept of this project.
Other projects inaugurated by Mr. President included the 18.7 kilometers 6-lane rigid pavement Eleko Junction to Ekpe Expressway, the John Randall Center for Yoruba Culture and History, and the MRS Lubricant Factory in Apapa. The Imota rice mill in Ikorodu was also one of the significant projects inaugurated by the president. The mill is expected to improve the country's capacity for producing local portable rice. Before his departure on Tuesday, President Buhari inaugurated the first phase of the Lagos Blue Rail Line. He joined other top government officials in a maiden ride from the Marina Station to the National Theatre Station in Igomu. Speaking at the event, the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, stated that the Blue Rail would transport about 25,000 passengers per hour, reducing travel time for Lagosians and thereby improving the quality of life and making the state one of the most resilient megacities in Africa.
Let me start by once again thanking Mr. President for honoring our invitation and for being with us since yesterday. We're indeed very delighted and happy with you, sir. We must boldly say that since 1999, Lagos State has not enjoyed the kind of support that we enjoyed since your administration came in 7.5 years ago. We know how many times you have had trips to Lagos, and on each of those occasions, we're indeed always very excited with all of your kind words and comments about our government.
After the ceremony, President Buhari departed Lagos for Dakar, Senegal, to attend the high-level Dakar 2 summit hosted by President Macky Sall of Senegal and the chairperson of the Africa Union. Akede, reporting for News Central.
To discuss this further, I'm now being joined by Lester Wilcox. He's a chartered accountant and public affairs analyst. Good to see you, Lester, and thanks for your time. Now, you've just seen Nigeria's president commissioning a number of key projects in the city of Lagos, including a rice mill and the Lekki deep sea port. Help us make sense of the significance of these commissioning and the president's visit.
Well, thank you for having me. As a matter of fact, I will say and clearly that the activity of the president in Lagos in these 2 days represents the fact that Lagos is really working and is delivering quality services to its citizenry and improving the economy of the country. It goes to show the fact that Lagos is truly the commercial nerve center of the country. Is truly the economic capital of the country, is truly the pace setter capital of the country. And so it discovered that all the projects that are being commissioned by the president in these 2 days were things that are that do not come easy, but as a result of hard work, dint of hard work, through thick and thin, for everybody to see. The Imota rice mill, which is one of the biggest in Africa, I made to understand, is supposed to produce food for Nigerians. Today, the politics of rice is very, very serious. Rice has become the yardstick to measuring government performance or economy. With the coming of stream on that rice mill, my prayer is that there will be enough raw material, that is the raw rice, that the mill will operate at its full capacity, so that that will, of course, certainly drag down the price. If such a mill is producing at such capacity as has been installed, of course, it will naturally increase production and then bring down the price. Now, if you talk about the Lekki deep sea port, in the entire West African sub-region, we don't have that kind of port. And so containers that big ship vessels that hitherto could not have baited in Nigeria or in other parts of West Africa will bait in Nigeria, and they will not transport their cargo. Now, the ripple economic effect that will bring, of course, it cannot be quantified from this point. So these are things that are relevant, and these are things that do not come just by the wing, but out of deep economic planning, deep commitment of governance in delivering those services.
Let me jump in here, Lester. A minute here, Lester. Let me jump in here. One of the key concerns of Nigerians is how does this actually and truly reflect on the well-being of Nigerians. Keep in mind, time was, until this moment, many Nigerian shippers would still prefer to go to neighboring countries like Benin Republic and ignore Nigeria's ports. So it brings to mind the ease of doing business in Nigeria.
Well, while I will not go into the policy of ease of doing business, let me talk about the economic importance and the ripple effect of it. Now, if you take the Imota rice mill, do you know that farmers will produce more rice, what do you call it, the rice pullets that will be milled? Lagos does not produce rice, so they will depend on states like Kebbi. Remember the Kebbi Lagos arrangement on them, but which this government has continued. Now again, what has happened now shows again continuity in governance, whereby successive administrations since 1999 has continued on a path. Now that rice mill will go to generate employment, and but when you generate employment, what happens? You create economic prosperity. So the common man will benefit, the government will benefit because revenue will come in. The common man will benefit because those that will be employed, their direct and indirect labor. So you can imagine the ripple effects of that. Now, talking about the port. Ports everywhere in the world, it's a big economic business. Now, before now, there has been increase in cost of imported goods. One is the fact that some of the vessels could not bait in our own in the current ports. They have to bait on high sea and then use cabotage vehicles, smaller vehicles, to go and bring in some of their big cargoes. Now, that will be eliminated. So when you have a direct access to the port, of course, cost of import will go down. And of course, that will also affect the people. The problem we have in Nigeria is we don't know how to calculate economic issues. We don't really sit down to have a critical thinking about what an economy is, how economy works, what are the economic indices that generate economic activity. All we are after is, oh, the price of rice has gone up, the price of fuel has gone up, therefore economy is bad, Nigeria is bad. No, there are so many things. Now, let's take even the rail line that was just commissioned. Do you know how many jobs that would create?